Podsters, it is Christmas week. Maybe it's the week after. Happy holidays to you. Happy whatever you celebrate. Happy New Year. I was on the fence about whether or not I was going to release a podcast this week, and I got to thinking about something, and I think it's timely. So I'm coming in hot, unscripted, me, what is it? Unplugged. Nancy Medoff Unplugged, I want to talk about how you're bringing in the new year and specifically what you're doing January 1st.
Are you ready to speak up, stand out, and get your seat at the table? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to Unmute Yourself, the podcast where you'll get real-life anecdotes and actionable tools for you to step into your strengths, debunk imposter syndrome, truly know your worth, and show up like you own the room every time. I'm your host, Nancy Medoff, who did the thing and followed my passion for empowering women like you to unleash that inner spark and become who you know you are meant to be. I'm a diehard foodie with a raging Skittles habit who will not stop until women everywhere unmute themselves and truly thrive at work, at home, or wherever you may be. Let's do this.
Telling you why, because many of you listen to this podcast because it resonates with you. And sometimes you feel the same way as I do. Sometimes you don't. That's great. You should. There should be things that maybe you agree with, maybe you don't. And I had an experience I want to share with you that is making me really rethink what I'm doing on January 1st. So I think about January 1st. This is the kickoff to the new year. And I think that there's an expression out there, how you do one thing in life is how you do most things in life. And I love that expression because it's, in my experience, pretty true. So your approach to, let's say, going to the grocery store is probably similar to your approach to planning a travel trip or your approach to, housework or whatever. So your instincts and your approach and your habits, it's not like you compartmentalize and you do it one way for one thing and another way for another thing. So this got me thinking about how you or I, let's talk about me, how I welcome the new year. Does it impact my year? I don't know. Could it impact my year? Sure. In my head, does it send a subliminal message to myself and perhaps the universe, if this is what you believe, that here's how this year is going to be? Here's what I mean, because it sounds a little weird. Last year, January 1st, I had a little New Year's Day party. I wanted to have a party. I think this was last year. I'm pretty sure it was. So I had people over, and this was not a low-key party. I mean, it wasn't a rip-roaring. People weren't like hanging from the beams, but it was a pretty well-attended party. It was several hours. It was during the day. We had great food. I had it catered, lots of new people. And, I love to entertain. So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to ring in the new year with friends and family and celebrate life and celebrate the new year. I don't think it's a coincidence, Podsters, that this year was by far, I think it might have been the most challenging of my life. I really think it might have been. It was nonstop action, which is a good thing. And I'm grateful and appreciative of all of the opportunities that came my way. And it was also nonstop. I mean, nonstop. It is December. What is it? I'm recording this on like 19th, 20th. I don't have any holiday decorations out. I haven't had time. So this year was incredibly busy. And I use that word on purpose because it was busy, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying it was incredibly busy. And it wasn't necessarily, that's not how I wanted my year to be. So in my head, I'm thinking, I wonder. So I used to, on New Year's Day, hike up a mountain in Arizona or run a 5K, New Year's Day 5K. One year I did the polar plunge. And for me, New Year's Day it's kind of low key, my way of saying this is what I'm going to do this year. And I wasn't thinking about that. I mean, I was thinking about that when I had the party, and I was thinking, oh, I'm going to have a great time and be with friends and family. And that's going to set a vibe of friends and family and good times for the year. And it did. And I made a lot of new friends this year, and you know who you are, and I'm incredibly grateful for you. I'm gonna get choked up. I made some new friends this year, and I cherish those friendships. I traveled a lot this year, and I love to travel. And it was too much. It was too much. It was more than I wanted. So January 1st this year, I was just thinking about, okay, well, what do I want to do? New Year's Eve, it's going to be low key. We're usually low key on New Year's Eve. What do I want to do? Do I want to go for a long hike in the woods? Blah, blah, blah. So I decided that I'm going to do a 2-hour yoga workshop. Now I love yoga, and I know what it does for me. It really makes a difference in my life and how my body feels, how my mind feels, how I feel. And I have done maybe 5 yoga classes this year. So I bought the seat, I bought the ticket, I made plans with a friend, and I said, okay, I'm going to go do this yoga. But before I did it, I'm like, well, I don't know. What if there's something fun? What if I want to go have brunch, or what if I want to just lay low? And it took me a few days to make this commitment. And I had this resistance to this, just sign up for the class, Nancy. It's not cancelable, but whatever. It's not that much money. It's short money. Just sign up for the class. And I was resisting it, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because I feared something better would come along. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, last year you had the big party, and the year was one long party after another. It was event after event after event. There was a political campaign, there was an election, there was traveling for speaking, there was traveling for pleasure, there were parties, there were new friends, there were, everything that goes along with that. There were family events, and it was nonstop. So I made the conscious decision to spend 2 hours in the morning on New Year's Day, just, being still, if you will, and focusing on going inward and focusing on what I know I need to do to thrive. And I think that sounds a little basic. And at the same time, I'm thinking maybe it's not very basic, because I kept resisting it. And I'm glad I made the decision to do it, and now I'm committed to it. And I think that for me, January 1st of 2025 really needs to be about balance and honoring my body, and really honoring my mind, and thinking and breathing, and really just taking it easy. I'm toying with my word being stillness for the year. I really like that word, but I always want an action word. My words are like thrive, or I can't remember what the other ones are. Last year, I think it was ease, and that didn't happen. So this is a great point. Last year, my word was ease. There was nothing easy about this year. Nothing. I even had I have an ease bracelet that I had made, like gold ease bracelet. It's very nice. If you're on YouTube, I'm going to hold it up to the mic in a second, to remind myself that this is what's important to me. Did not work, Podsters. And I have to think that is somehow related to January 1st, ripping it up with friends and families in my home. See it? Ease. If you're on YouTube, there it is. So all of this is to say, my wish for you is that you really think about the first day of the year, first day of a new year. If this is important to you, or, if you're into the timing of the new year, some people aren't, and think about how you're going to spend that time, and who you're going to be with, and what you're going to be doing. And will that send the message to your brain, or your alter ego, or you, or your friends, or whoever, the universe, this is what I'm about this year. This is it. Maybe it's running the 5K. Maybe it's sitting on your couch and relaxing. Maybe it's making healthy foods. Maybe it's having brunch. I don't know. And I think as long as we're intentional, then that's great. And that's my wish for you, is that you New Year on New Year's Eve. We're still in 2024. All bets are off. Whatever you want to do, Podsters. New Year's Day, I think it would really be valuable if you think about, is this going to set me up for the year that I want? So with that, I wish you a happy, happy new year. We have great episodes coming up in January. I already recorded a couple of them. They're going to be everything that's on your mind, goal setting, closet purging, organizing, all the things. And with that, Podsters, happy holidays. Peace out. And I look forward to talking with you in 2025.
That's a wrap, Podsters. And before we go, I ask you, what's one thing from today's episode that you will use this week to unmute yourself? DM me, email me, send a smoke signal, whatever you need to do. Let me know what you're going to do differently. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone you know and leave a 5-star review on Apple. This helps me spread our message of empowerment to more people worldwide. Let's do this.